Hello and welcome to this recording. It's been done using the Windows 10 gaming console, which you press Windows G and you press on that and you get to the different screens being recorded. So hopefully this will keep on going. I won't close it. Okay, Glenbrook Advanced Concept Institute. Now this is obviously not a complete site. This is an experimental site and we're starting off, and we're doing things, we're an institute, and our motto, I suppose, is the future so bright I gotta wear shades. Story there, and we have some shades, and essentially we're a group of people who are getting into mentor or advance different projects. One of the projects we're looking in is helping out people, data collators, for COVID. There's a lot of members who are concerned about it. So this is the the premier site, the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine. It's the US site. Essentially, it's, if people don't know a lot and they're in a position of power, it's just fairly secure. It's sort of like the Volvo of sites. It doesn't handle it very well, but you know that you're safe if you're doing it. I just think no one's ever been fired. No one's ever sacked their employee for buying an IBM. It's sort of that type of stuff, that if you're not all that into to data, you realise that it's sort of like saying official. I've got the official site. So you've got these different fonts and sizes, and you've got different ways that you can go in. You can look at Critical Trends World Map, or it's very US focused. So let's go in and look at the world map at the moment. Now obviously there's a lot of data in here, and it's got this sort of grungy outlook. It's sort of like a sort of software packages you'd buy in the 90s or 80s. So you've got colours, so it's various versions of grey and red. So the bad numbers are red and the good numbers are blue, and there is, no matter what you go in, you're always told about the world results here. It's taking a little while to come in. You've got various things. You can look at cumulative cases, active cases, incident rate, case fatality ratio. Get you a little overview of it over here. So it's up here. What I suppose I do note is that they tell you the font of at month, day, year. So it goes across here, which I suppose is a sensible, I think, to say they're doing it. It's the US. Now I don't quite understand what's going on here. So this is just giving you an advance here. Oops, it's just taking a little while to go through. So you can get the number of the trends here of the total cases. You can see it's taking a little while to load down the huge amount of data which is here. We'll be able to see in this map at least Australia coming up. So we can look here at the daily cases. No data for daily cases. Well, thank you very much for that. We'll just do minus a bit to get the world. I think that's pretty much the world. Putting Australia across, obviously in the centre. That's the way. I don't know how you Europeans have your world map, but that's how we have maps in Australia, at least. So looking at the various populations here. So you've got the US population, which you can click over here, and it should give you the confirmed US amounts. Oh, there's the US one, which is pretty much the daily cases, which I want to look at here. We could do UK. Germany's interesting because it's over the curve, and I just want you to look at the oscillations the weekly oscillations. Now that could be a number of things. It may be the testing cycle and things like that. But if you go down to Iran, it's got a sort of an unusual curve. It's got a very flat and raised curve. They don't seem to be able to get much beneath a billion. Brazil's a tragedy as far as I can see. If you can go quite down to Saudi Arabia, something I'd like to see. I've never seen that before. So this is at least here that Saudi Arabia's taking off. That's no good. Then the one that we want to get down to is very quickly going down to Australia. So Australia and Norway are locked in a battle of the COVIDs. Going here, so this is the Australian line. Notice the purple blinking thing to cue your idea of where is Australia. Australia also has a slight oscillation in it. So we've got the unusual thing that most of our cases came from overseas. We were able to lock them up and put them away. So Thailand is really a star one in terms of perhaps beating Australia in reduction of the curve. It's actually a very good country. So you've got this various things. You've got critical trends up here, which is here. I suppose which states have released breakdown data. Learn more. We want to go animated map is by far the most interesting. So you can actually see how it's progressed over time. So I'm just going to accelerate this up through so you can see it because it's a bit sort of tedious to go through. So that's 100 days after the first case. So that's group. So this is what your bureaucrat, university person will say. Oh, well, this is the I'm looking at this, and it's generally accepted. Everyone says John Hopkins. It's sort of like you wave on, carry on. There's no voice there. This is Worldometer. So Worldometer really has come to the fore in education for basically educating about world population, world car production, just to give you your class scale. Get them to come in on this, and so this is good here in terms of it has a sort of more subtle thing. The number of cases are grey, deaths are a little bit darker, recovereds are nice and green. You see the overall cases. Now it takes a while here. This is quite an aggressive program in terms of it's paid for by cookies, so you can only run it for a certain amount of time before your computer has to be cleansed of all the thousands of cookies going on here. It's actually blowing a gale outside, right? So you can go through the different countries here. So this has got the real value of raw data. So you can get you don't have the problems of scales. The actual numbers are a bit logarithmic. So each number there is sort of a semi-logarithmic, so that's in the millions, 100,000s going across. Going down here, one of the things I suppose we'll look at Germany again. So Germany's got the flag, same layout, but this time you can actually see in a much more detailed. Now what's good about here is that the actual data is put across, and it's given. Again, I'll talk about the point there. The thing about it is that it's semi-transparent. It's translucent background, so you can see the background there, and you can see this very distinct oscillation, which we went before and saw it wasn't there. We'll just go back to countries. So let's go with the slip navigation. You can see some of the advertising. You can see that I have gone onto the web and advertised new printer ink. Let's go down to Australia here. So it's getting it pretty much up to date. Go up to Australia and click into it. Panama's coming up to us. Poor old Panama. The map of Australia. Sorry, the flag of Australia. And then this is the daily cases again, and active cases here. So active cases are going to 947 active cases overseas. Go across there, and I suppose the important thing here is that it's the easy to pick out the references so you can see or when did they get the information and how up to date it is. So it's relatively up to date. Going over here is the Premier site, and one of the things I want to do in this is actually talk through the Premier site. Which I say the Premier site that's judged by the Glenbrook Advanced Concept Institute as the best site. And we'll just go through here. The top there is a selection of blue, of purple, and which is authority, but calming. The COVID virus is about the best logo so far. So it's got various things which are asymmetric, and so it tells you it's organic. It's got not one uniform colour, it's got a variation of colours there. It's got curved circles, it's green, so it's safe and friendly but a bit icky, so it's a very good logo. You can see the fav icon at the top doesn't work as well. Perhaps they should just have a white. The fav icon should have the actual logo as white. You've got the slight mauve colouring for additional information. So it's COVID live. It's last updated a bit extra information 36 minutes ago. So it's really update as the information comes through. You've got the numbers there. The comma, there's a new standard in science writing where they drop the comma. You just leave a gap, a small spacing between the numbers. Also, I think there is supposed to be a spacing between the numbers and the K. So this is SI units coming out of NIST, the new science standard. I don't know whether that's gone through here. Then you've got the various panels here. Just to show you how this goes down to mobile phone outlook. Okay. Footage, which you'll have to just believe me that it goes down to mobile. Well, a very small subtlety here is using the mauve or transitional colour underneath. So the eye, it looks a very natural thing. So you can see that in the green header. It's got the edge. It's a very clean way. It's using, again, red for bad, black for neutral. And so you've got the little red triangle up for this is not so bad. The only thing I would say about the black dot there is it's a little bit large for it. It looks so almost as fast as we point out problems with it, they fix them. So it's sort of stealing anything we have to say. So this is the total number of tests that's done in Australia. So we could go to tests and actually look at the historical data of tests. So the number of tests which are done per day. So they're slowly ramping up the number of tests per day in Australia. Let's go across here. So going back to the overall information, the important thing which drills down for us, which you don't get in the Johns Hopkins data or anything like that, is the actual people on ventilators and ICU and the breakup states. So it's in terms of data, it's by far the best. I'm just going to, this is, I suppose, the most telling thing here is community transmission. This means how well we're controlling it. And so red is bad, green is good. We thought it was bad, but now we have realised it's not as bad because we've actually nutted out who has caused the transmission. So Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania, ACT, Northern Territory, there's no community transmission. Also going down here is resources, and it goes through the actual resources if you want to actually go and check things out for yourself firsthand. The version, the thing that I do want to talk about is the sort of spin-off. This is using it's called covid19data.com.au. Now this is relatively good. Again, perhaps not as good here is that it's not translucent. You can see the amount of data here. This is a number of ventilators, ICU, and hospitalised. There you go, and you can see by mousing over, you can actually highlight the piece of information that you're interested in. Unfortunately, if there's 34 and that 22 is included in that 34, you can see that the difference here, it is just confusing because it is absolutely correct that it's 34, but it's not the total number of, not separate. Okay, that's been done. I just want to cover perhaps what I think is the worst sites. Here is the Luxembourg site. It's good and it's bad. I like the way that it's handled the transition here in an unusual way. It's the colouring is sort of I don't know. It's hard to. It's unsettling colouring. The pink is unsettling. You don't know quite whether it's danger or how to interpret it. I don't know how to interpret it. Now the logo up the top shows a coronavirus and spreading in the nodes. It's a combination of social distancing. So that's an interesting logo. I think it's, I suppose, relatively good. It takes a bit to. It's intelligent. It's an intelligent sort of puzzle logo. I sort of like that. This is the again from the same site, showing their logos here. It's the particular logo here is very good in terms of again using red for not so good, green for better. You're leaving hospital here in terms of the size of the people there. It's not committing scale crimes if you get through here. So in terms of this is good scale. Perhaps you want for intensive care, you probably want to have, say, the picture of a nurse in the background because that's the critical thing you're going through. But in terms of scaling, this is good here. I'll just finish this off by saying goodbye and hope that you enjoy this.